Hello and welcome to another. So today we're checking out Jerry. So if you don't know what Jerry is an Omen for one deck. Any deck that does, of course, focus on the Highlander format usually gets nicknamed Jerry. That's kind of the joke going around anyway. So also it helps because his name, of course, is Jera or whatever. So I think that's part of the joke. Either way, wonderful job here. Omen of 1, pretty solid card. I haven't actually played any Jerry decks at all. Really, I think I played maybe 1 or 2, but never did a video on them. This will be one of the first, I think, Highlander deck videos I have done that included Omen of 1 since it's a release, which is kind of sad, but you know, I didn't really have the opportunity to craft one, didn't really pull any for a while, and then by the time I did, it was, you know, kind of out of any kind of fun, but this deck, really solid, really fun, does a good job. Of course, has a lot of cards in it, because it is, of course, one-drop focused. There's no real major game pattern to these sort of decks, other than, of course, get Omen of 1 on board as soon as you can, keep flooding the board with followers, and, of course, control and do whatever else you can to win the game. Ideally, I found the best course of action, once you can at least get to the Omen of 1 play, is to set up things like Omen of Disdain, Steelclad Minotaur, Ruler of Skies, Hulking Dragon, anything big that can just completely lock down the board is ideal, and really works quite well. So we are going to get into this and check it out. So first up for our matches is actually Dragon versus Dragon. I hadn't seen another Dragon player for quite some time while playing Shadowverse in the last 20 to 30 games, but seeing a Dragon player now, not too bad. We did start off with the Omen of 1 in our hand. Made the decision to hold on to it since Omen of 1, while not being the hardest thing to pull from the deck, since it is 3 of them in there, so the odds are actually reasonably high compared to pulling 1 of any other card. I did decide it was best to hold on to it. And I'm glad I did. It's definitely a great card if it's just played straight up on 6 on an empty board. So ideally here, all we can really do is throw anything early game to the board. If we can get past those early turns, we should be fine. The fact that Dragon can ramp as well makes these Omen decks really good. And getting the extra draw is usually pretty helpful, so definitely think I made the right decision there, pulling the draw on turn 3, instead of trying to hold on to that for any kind of later play. It was unfortunate I couldn't actually go for Anne Rose until now, honestly. If I could have done it on turn 3, we would have been laughing, but turn 4 it is, at the earliest as we can ever do it. And that does set us up nicely to go for Omen on turn 5, so it does put us a little bit ahead. We can pretty much guarantee the fact of removing 2 of these. Unfortunately, I think the best way to do that is to slam the Omen into the 5-1 to make sure that's definitely gone, and then, of course, take out one of the 1-1s with the ping. But once he's out, even just one of him on board is substantial for every single turn, and going forward, turns 7 and 8 are pretty much already set up here with Omen and, of course, Hulking already in hand. And they did go for the Amulet Dragon's Horde. That was an interesting one to see. Not the first time I've seen it, but definitely not bad. Since we have Angelic Smite though, it's actually no threat at all to us. I could literally just remove it anytime I wanted. Between now and just before it props, so. I was a little sad about this play, but I mean, we got the removal no matter what. Not really an issue, it was just, I thought it could have went a little better if I got my pings in the right place, and I think I kind of did. They couldn't have went much better, to be honest. So we're evened up now, but they lose their 5-1 basically instantly. I think I did make the mistake of actually attacking here. Yeah, I did. I actually could have just ended the turn. It would have done the same thing. I would have got the pings and I would have kept 1 health, and that would have been 1 extra health that I didn't need because they conceded, but it would have been better, to be honest. And now for our second game here, we are going up against Rune.
Shall we cross swords? I guess you're looking for a fight.
This match is much more normal, I felt like. The first match was pretty ideal as far as what we got in hand. That went fairly well for us. And going up against another Dragon player, and especially a deck I've never seen, while not being predictable, definitely made it easier because I knew that they weren't going to have any probably crazy large plays that could shut us down in that early setup phases, and by the time we did get Omen out, it really wasn't anything they could threaten us with that we couldn't probably get rid of with a couple of card plays. So Rune on the other hand here though, focusing probably on the Burn Rune variant based on what they're playing. We really don't have a lot of ways to get around this. The healing is good, that's about all we've got. But other than that, all we can do is mitigate early game damage until we can get some late game stuff going. At least we have Doting Dragoneer and the, of course, Venomtail Salamander. Actually a pretty okay play for getting some board presence and generating a nice ward. Since we don't have Omen in 1 in hand, I'm not too worried about having a little bit of a board going. It's usually what the early game in this deck does fairly well. It runs a lot of nice early game cards that can flood fairly well on their own. We can actually remove both these now, which is ideal. They're a nice little free evo, so this is effectively a 4-4 with a 2 ping right now. So even Tetra Evoed will actually be removed by this, which is really good. I don't want to have to deal with a Tetra Evoed because they can be quite annoying. Mechanized Lifeform plus Delta Cannon. Pretty insane they kept getting this kind of value. Every time, of course, they're playing a follower now, they're gaining a play point. Screwing us over pretty heavily there for the Machina cards. At least I did get Griffonback Guard, a card that I've never played before, I don't think. Or if I have, it's been a long time. It's actually got a really good defense line, especially with an Evo. Not so lucky though. They had a pretty ideal range here, being able to, of course, pick us off without any trouble. Now for our turn though, we do need to clear at least the 2 big guys. Which, considering our Blazing Breaths, should not be hard. We can actually take out 3 of these cards if we want. So why not do that and leave up a 5-2. This is where Omen of 1 would have come in handy. Not that I can argue too much for it, since Omen of 1 isn't played for this game, I don't think. I think that's the only card I end up missing out on. Hulking Dragoneer, though, coming in to do some work. I'm sure we would have got Omen of 1 any moment after this game got close to ending, since we didn't need much to win this. That was a little rough, though. Lord's a really good counter. And we got our Mechawing Angel down, so we're starting to set up some wards. I didn't want to go for the Poseidon yet. I thought I'd hold off on that. And seeing Zeus hurt my feelings. I didn't want to see Zeus, no thank you. And we finally get Omen of 1, but I decided not to play him and instead go for the Lightning Blast. Definitely a mistake. I probably should have went for Omen of 1. I suppose if I went for Omen of 1 though, the problem is I couldn't clear my board and just have Omen. That's why I decided against going with him. But I still feel like he could have been the better play there. Getting him on board would have made a substantial difference to us. Now, I don't really have a lot more to go on for, of course, the rest of this game. I just tried to secure whatever I could with the cards I had. I had the Poseidon, I had the 10-drop heal, which would be pretty decent to use. And they also had a 10-drop heal, so that kind of crushed my hopes and dreams of winning next turn. At least it doesn't really stop us for long. I got a good chance to go for the Pure Voice Dragoon. That means we can at least get 5 out of that next turn. So all we need to do is retain 6 damage. Which, it's not as hard as you'd think with this current board. And obviously our opponent decided that it was not enough effort to go to and gave us the win. And that does conclude what will be our first proper full-on Jerry deck. So, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I actually quite enjoyed playing this deck. It was a lot of fun, and you never really know what your hand's kind of going to look like. It's like luck of the draw. You go, okay, I would really love any card in this bracket of cards. Can I get them in my hand? And when you do, it feels great. When you don't, it's not so good. But the Omen of 1, definitely pretty fun card to play right now. in the current meta at least, for me. Something different, something fresh, something just that I haven't got to use, and I don't know if I'd knocked that screen out for most of this video, but I think it was okay. Either way, hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe. Until next time, guys, see ya.